venue today at Odem High School as a three-team scrimmage between Odem, Skidmore, Tynan, and Three Rivers. This will feature Three Rivers taking on Skidmore. It's a timed match in which the two teams will play 30 minutes. They're not really keeping score on the floor. We'll keep it for you at home as our broadcast gets underway. Big hit that time by the Lady Cat volleyball team, and that secures a point for Skidmore Tynan. Skidmore has a little bit of advantage in this in that they did play in the 9 o'clock game against the host school Odem and looked impressive in their victory in the scrimmage. The way this will rotate here on this court is the teams will play here on this floor, and they'll rotate the three schools. Skidmore's already taken on Odem. Now Skidmore taking on Three Rivers. And then they'll rotate a second time through. So this is the test run. Big spike there, the net, and a point for Skidmore Tynan. And they've scored the first two out of the gate. For Skidmore, they open their season against Freer. Their next game will be against Freer. Racing back, the Lady Bulldogs get the ball over. Lady Cats of Skidmore Tynan set it up right side, but that's a lift called. And a point secured for Three Rivers. Makes it a 2-1 game. Thanks for joining in for our broadcast here. Just a test run here at Odem High School. One of our schools that we've added on in our broadcast venue. That's one of the schools we'll be covering each and every home game throughout the season. It's a social distancing kind of event as far as there are no fans allowed here in the gym for this scrimmage. As again, we continue to just bring the coverage to you back at home. Billy Watson on the camera, also Rudy Zamaripa is securing one of the cameras. Three Rivers will substitute. Skidmore Tynan will be serving. Again, they're not playing a number of sets here. This is just a timed scrimmage. And no jersey numbers on the back make it extremely difficult to figure out who's going to be hitting. We, in no way, shape, or form, could memorize each and every name on the court. That one gets to the back row, out of bounds, off of the Three Rivers. And Skidmore Tynan will score another point. Wherever you may be watching from, if you give a chance, give us a shout out where you're tuning in from, and pass the word by sharing the link to other fans who may not know these games are going on. Again, we found out yesterday that this scrimmage was going to take place. Good serve across, played by the Three Rivers. I'll put it in the back corner, looking in, and it's in, back corner. Point scored for Three Rivers. Well-placed hit by the Lady Bulldogs. Next serve coming up for Three Rivers. It's their first action at the varsity level in a scrimmage. Spike across by Skidmore Tynan, played back by Three Rivers, back across. A little confusion here in this gym as you do have multiple games going on. The JV and freshmen are playing over on the court to our left side. So it's a little bit difficult for these players keeping up with the whistles. Good spike across, but it's played by the Lady Bulldogs. Back corner, played up by the Lady Cats and out of bounds into the bleachers, and Three Rivers goes on top, 5-4. We'll be broadcasting here tonight, and if all goes well, we'll be covering some football action tonight here from Odem High School as well. That's a good spike down and in, played by Skidmore Tynan. The Lady Cats tie this game up at 5 apiece. It's a timed game. It's scheduled to go from 9:30 till 10 o'clock. We're about 12 minutes in as we get set for the next serve by the Lady Cats of Skidmore Tynan. Serve across, played down the line. Lady Bulldogs keep it alive, manage to get it to the net, but can't get it over. And a point scored by Skidmore Tynan puts them up at 6-5. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is high school sports from Odem on Rio Sports Live.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations.
Back here on Rio Sports Live after a timeout was taken. We do have action returning. That ball is deflected out of bounds. So the Lady Cats will be serving again, now up a couple of points here in this match. Our appreciation to the Odem High School IT department for assisting us in getting set up here this morning. We've already got our place secured in the press box. Again, they have a full contact football scrimmage tonight that'll be taking place. As these small schools have opened up in the state of Texas a bit earlier. That one goes out of bounds off the back row. So an aggressive attack that time by the Lady Bulldogs. But out of bounds. Skidmore Tynan will serve again. Put it in play. Three Rivers trying to get it over the net, but nothing doing. Another point scored by Skidmore Tynan. And now they've extended the lead out to 4 points. Next serve coming across is a good one into the net though. And a point will be scored by Three Rivers. This game will conclude at 10 o'clock. Again, it's a timed scrimmage game. We're nearing the midway point of this one. We'll be finished here with this one at 10 o'clock. Lady Bulldogs of Three Rivers to serve it up. We were anxious to get schedules for these teams. That's a difficult thing to do right now. Athletic directors across the state, across the country for that matter, are trying to assemble schedules. With football, you're dealing with all of the contact, and in a day and age in which social distancing is the front and center story, protection of these athletes is on the front lines for these schools. Obviously, this is an indoor sport, which takes on another realm. And that's a big kill down and in by the Lady Bulldogs on a kill right center court. Three Rivers down 10-7, timeout on the floor. We're halfway through this one. Skidmore Tynan taking on Three Rivers. This is Rio Sports Live.
From Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Back here at Odem High School, and Skidmore Tynan still on the sidelines over there. Meanwhile, Three Rivers Lady Bulldogs are in position to serve this up.
Maybe the third one. Maybe the third one. I don't know.
They'll serve that across. point scored by Skidmore Tynan. Skidmore did have the edge in their first match here early this morning against Odem. And they've controlled it here. Big spike across, that's played off the back row but out of bounds. Another nice kill for Three Rivers and the Lady Bulldogs. Just yesterday, we added Odem High School, we added West Oso, we added all of the CCISD. We already have the Kingsville High School in the mix here in the Coastal Bend of teams we'll be covering throughout volleyball and football, and then into the winter sports of basketball, eventually soccer, softball, baseball. Rio Grande Valley is behind a bit as far as when the start will take place. All practical purposes, it's about a 3 to 4 week span between when the Coastal Bend gets underway and the Rio Grande Valley. Of course, Rio Sports Live will be down in the Rio Grande Valley. School districts already in place that we'll be covering include Brownsville, Harlingen, Los Fresnos. And when I talk about Brownsville, I'm talking about all of the Brownsville schools. Los Fresnos, Harlingen, Lyford, Brownsville, St. Joseph, among the many schools that we'll be covering. San Perlita will be covering the small schools sports of the Trojans. San Isidro and the Tigers and Lady Tigers will be part of our coverage this year. And we are active in adding more and more schools to the mix of who Rio Sports Live will be presenting coverage of their high school athletics. Another couple points scored by Three Rivers. They do trail by 1. That's an unofficial score up there, but again, on the side of this, as that serve goes out of bounds, there is no scoreboard. They really weren't playing to keep a score. This is strictly a timed scrimmage between the two teams. Lady Cats serve it across. Lady Bulldogs on the return to keep it on the back row. Edge it over. Played by Skidmore Tynan on that left side. That's blocked back at you. Point scored by Three Rivers. So going from the attack on the left side of the net. Nothing doing on the point score. Foul Furious, we talked to Foul Furious earlier this week, and they'll be added in the mix as we expand westward on the coverage. Ball near the bleachers, and that carries out of bounds. So a point scored by Skidmore Tynan and the Lady Cats. Ruben Garcia, the athletic director, reaching out to us. We will be speaking with him in between the scrimmage and the Midnight Madness. We're going to test the press box at the football stadium tonight here at Odem. We'll be testing it when we conclude our coverage here of volleyball. And if all goes well, we could bring the crew up here tonight for the football scrimmage. Full pad, full contact scrimmage for the Odem Owls. Set up near the net, tipped over, diving play keeps that alive by Skidmore Tynan. Lady Bulldogs set it up center, tip it over the block, another diving play, but that's unplayed, and a point scored for Three Rivers. Back to within 1 of the Lady Bulldogs. Get our social media that we're pushing this broadcast out to includes Facebook, YouTube, Roku television, Apple TV, our website. We're streaming live on Twitter. Spike across, nicely played by Skidmore Tynan, and a point scored by the Lady Cats. Lady Cats to serve it up. Again, no numbers on the jersey. Well, now I do see that the Bulldogs do have some numbers, so we'll get a roster for you the next time Three Rivers is on the floor. We'll be able to bring some names to life here of our coverage. This is just a test run for Rio Sports here at Odem. Joe Bowling, Rudy Zambaripa Jr., Billy Watson making the trip up. Billy in his final days here of the summer before he heads back to college at Texas Tech, and we want to send it a Big time appreciation on what he put together for his internship during a trying summertime in which sports were limited, to say the least. Big spike played by the Lady Bulldogs on a nice return. Back on the Skidmore Tynan side from the center. Played by the back row. Nice pass. Played up forward over the net. Tip. The diving play. This is the longest rally between the two teams. Tipped over again. Skidmore Tynan there, but they can't get it over, and a point scored by the Lady Bulldogs. Most competitive match on a rally between the two teams here in this scrimmage. Lady Owls to serve, or Lady Bulldogs to serve it up, that is. Tipped across, and that's in, and a point scored by Skidmore Tynan. More substitutions into the game as a new server enters the game for the Lady Cats of Skidmore Tynan. Odem up next, and they'll be taking on Three Rivers. That one comes up near the camera. Look out, Billy Watson. Skidmore Tynan's serving has been on point. I know in the scrimmage, coaches are looking for all kinds of things to assess. And in reality, these scrimmages are big time important. That's an ace served up by Skidmore Tynan. The importance of these scrimmages now is because of the fact of limited gym opportunities throughout the summer. In a lot of cases, these coaches are seeing their players for the first time in any kind of competitive action. Normally they would have some travel ball, and in the Rio Grande Valley, we've been able to, in the past 2 years, cover the Highway 83 JRS League, and also the tournament that takes place at the Vipers facility. And so by the time you get to the actual high school level, you've had a peek at a lot of the players that are going to be participating, and that's not the case this summer. So these scrimmages provide an opportunity, as another ace is served up by Skidmore, provides a big time opportunity for these coaches to get a view of their players and try to find a rotation that will mix. Next serve across, played by the Lady Bulldogs, a high set. Looking to go against a double block, but nothing doing. Another point scored by Skidmore. Again, normally you'll be going to 25 in these games. But with a time set, another ace is served up by Skidmore Tynan. And suddenly it's a double-digit lead. Expansion of Rio Sports into the Coastal Bend. We started it last year with our Coastal Bend Game of the Week. Prior to that, we had been in the Coastal Bend covering playoff games. That's an ace served up, and that's in the direction of Rudy Zamaripa over there running that camera. He's already been hit once by a ball that came up in the stands. Next serve across coming up by Skidmore Tynan. It's down the line, but it carries out of bounds. Three Rivers will score the point. Coming up on about 3.5 minutes before this concludes. There'll be a short break, and then Odem will take the court against this Three Rivers team. Skidmore Tynan from the back row will play it up to the middle. That hits in the net, and another point scored by Three Rivers. We'll have highlights of these games up a little bit later on today. We provide you coverage here at Rio Sports Live from Odem High School on a Friday morning. Serve across is played. Big spike across off the block. And that's a point scored by Skidmore Tynan off the tip. New server in the game for Skidmore Tynan. They'll put that across the net. Played by Three Rivers. That's off the net. Played over on the third hit. To the middle, they'll call a lift, and a point scored by Skidmore Tynan. Coach over there for the Skidmore Tynan. Our thanks to the coaches. They were busy getting ready for this scrimmage. Talking to them, they're not even, in some cases, schedules aren't completely locked in, as that's an ace served up by Skidmore Tynan. And they extend the lead here in this scrimmage against Three Rivers. Next serve across, down the line, that carries out of bounds. And Three Rivers will score the point. Well, the official ruled that in, so that is a point scored by Skidmore Tynan. Next serve by the Lady Cats, gets across to the back corner. Played, still on the back row. Free ball coming up for Skidmore Tynan. Executed well on the pass, hit down the line. Count that for another point. Skidmore Tynan with another kill. Lady Cats serve it across, and the net it goes, and that'll transfer the serve over to Three Rivers. And the Lady Bulldogs. Down to the back corner, played by Skidmore Tynan, center set, big swing, big kill, down it goes. Points scored on another kill by the Lady Cats of Skidmore Tynan. See that coming with the, it started with a pass, allowed the setter to put that into perfect hitting position to put it away. Lady Bulldogs set it up in the middle. That's a big swing, but in the net it goes. Another point to Skidmore Tynan. Lady Cats, in essence, will have made it through the first two games here of this rotation against Odem and now against Three Rivers. In good shape, diving play on the back row by the Lady Bulldogs keeps that alive. Lady Cats set it up, left side, tipped across, whistle blows, point scored, Skidmore Tynan. Another serve coming up for the Lady Cats. Played by Three Rivers on the back row. Free ball coming up. Pass off the net, and nothing doing. That time you can see the setter had to contend with trying to retrieve that pass near the net. Took her out of position of being able to deliver a pass of any sort to just try to set up a score. She was just trying to keep the ball alive. This time from the right side, that's spiked across. Another point for Skidmore Tynan. Lady Cats of Skidmore Tynan. Serve it over to Three Rivers. Tipped across, covered nicely. Back set that time, back corner, point scored. Skidmore Tynan scores again. The Cats back to the service line. Again, the court set up dissecting the floor because there is a second court in operation going on with the JV and the freshmen. The time is should be concluded as they blow the whistle. And that will wrap up play here between Skidmore Tynan and Three Rivers in the scrimmage from Odem High School.
He's coming in right now to be the R1, right?
Two teams meet over on the sidelines. And that will conclude our broadcast. Skidmore Tynan and Three Rivers from Odem. We'll be back with another broadcast. Hope you enjoyed this one. Till next time, for Real Sports Live, I'm Joe Bowling. So long for just a while.